Khamzat versus Duplessis. Predictions?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are underestimating Dricus right now. Maybe a late finish, 4th or 5th round. But we'll see.
Reinier de Ridder slams Khamzat by saying Khamzat is the most feared fighter in the division, but there are definitely better fighters than him. However, Reinier de Ridder also mentioned that both his and Dricus du Plessis' fighting styles are unusual and not like most other fighters. He explained that this could make a matchup between them exciting and unpredictable, since their movements and techniques are hard to figure out. He added with a bit of humor that it might have something to do with their Dutch roots. He said that we might find out soon, suggesting the fight could possibly take place.
They said that your style, they said that your style also is very, very weird. How would a fight between you and Duplessis goes just because both your fighting styles, like I said, are very weird?
Yeah, it must be the Dutch genes. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully we'll see soon.
Additionally, Reinier de Ridder said that a fight against Khamzat would be a very exciting and intense grappling battle. He expects the match to have many wrestling scrambles and a lot of different positions where both fighters will try to gain an advantage. He believes it will be a technical and challenging fight on the ground. He also mentioned that if Khamzat gets to fight a few rounds, it would help him learn more about his style and tactics. Reinier ended by saying, "We'll see," keeping the possibility open for what might happen next.
Maybe if you don't fight Duplessis and say you fight Khamzat, how do you see that going?
Yeah, I think it will be a very, very cool grappling match. Lots of nice wrestling scrambles, lots of nice positions to go through. But I'll be happy if he gets some rounds in with Dricus, so I can have some more to study. We'll see.
Moreover, Reinier de Ridder said that he does not consider Khamzat to be the most feared fighter in his division. According to him, there are other fighters who are more complete and pose a bigger challenge. He specifically mentioned Nassourdine Imavov, the French fighter, as someone who moves very well in the cage, stays calm and relaxed, and uses smart tactics during his fights. Reinier believes that a fight against Imavov might be tougher and more challenging. Still, he acknowledged that Khamzat is a great fighter with a lot of skill and talent.
Do you feel like Khamzat's the most feared opponent in your division?
Not by me, not by me. I think there's better fighters in the division, to be honest. More complete guys. I think we don't really talk about them as much. But the French guy, what's his name?
Imavov?
Imavov. He's very complete. Huh? He moves very well, very relaxed, very smart when he fights. I think that might be a harder fight, to be honest. But Khamzat is, of course, is a great fighter.
Meanwhile, Michael Bisping shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis. He believes Khamzat's best chance to win is by finishing du Plessis early in the fight. Bisping pointed out that du Plessis is in great form right now, with an impressive record of 23 wins and only 2 losses. He is on an 11-fight winning streak, including 10 victories inside the UFC. This fight will be du Plessis' 3rd time defending his title. Bisping reminded fans of du Plessis' recent performances, including a close split decision win over Sean Strickland at UFC 297, a 4th-round submission over Israel Adesanya, and a later unanimous decision victory against Strickland. He also noted that fighters often raise their level after becoming champions, and du Plessis is showing that by improving with every fight.
And I'm telling you, he's going to try and finish Dricus du Plessis straight away. And that's his best bet. Now, Dricus du Plessis, this man's on fire, right? He's 23-2 overall. He's on an 11-fight win streak. He's got 10 wins in the UFC. And of course, this will be his 3rd title defense. He beat Sean Strickland by unanimous decision. He choked out Israel Adesanya in the 4th round. And he took the belt, as we know, in a close split decision victory over Sean Strickland way back at UFC 297. But they always say when you become the champion, you get 30% better. This man is improving all the time.
At last, Bisping warned that if Khamzat thinks he can just take du Plessis down and easily submit him, he might be in for a harsh surprise. He highlighted that du Plessis is a very skilled grappler who once submitted an entire black belt jiu-jitsu team. While Bisping praised Khamzat's move up to middleweight and his strong win over Robert Whittaker, he reminded everyone not to underestimate du Plessis. With his size, skill, and constant progress, du Plessis is a tough opponent. Bisping believes Khamzat will need more than just strength to come out on top.
And just take down Dricus du Plessis and just choke him out, right? Like he's some schmuck, like he doesn't know what he's doing, like he's not someone that choked out an entire black belt jiu-jitsu team one after the other. then I think Khamzat Chimaev will be in for a rude awakening. Now, of course, since Khamzat Chimaev moved up to 185 pounds, he's looked phenomenal, okay? The way that he destroyed Robert Whittaker, that was so impressive.
Furthermore, Reinier de Ridder said that many people are underestimating Dricus du Plessis going into the fight with Khamzat. He explained that if you just look at du Plessis' past fights, his style might seem awkward or sloppy at first glance. However, de Ridder pointed out that du Plessis always finds a way to win, no matter how the fight starts. He added that one of du Plessis' biggest strengths is his ability to grow stronger and perform better as the rounds go on. Even if he looks a bit off in the early stages, he adjusts, keeps pushing, and usually finishes strong. According to de Ridder, that makes him a dangerous and underestimated opponent.
Khamzat versus du Plessis. Predictions?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are underestimating Dricus right now. If you look at like fights they've had, it looks a bit sloppy when Dricus fights, but he always gets them. He gets better as longer as rounds go on.
At last, Reinier de Ridder also said that he believes du Plessis has what it takes to survive Khamzat's early pressure. He thinks that if du Plessis can make it through the first few rounds, he has a real chance to take control of the fight. De Ridder believes du Plessis might even be able to score a late finish, possibly in the 4th or 5th round. Still, he ended by saying we'll have to wait and see how it plays out.
And I think he can survive that early onslaught of Khamzat. So I think Dricus can pull the win out. Maybe a late finish, 4th or 5th round. But we'll see.
Moreover, Robert Whittaker spoke about Khamzat Chimaev's wrestling, saying his takedowns are not only strong, but also technically very hard to stop. Still, he sees Dricus du Plessis as a fighter with a lot of heart and toughness, someone who doesn't go down easily. Whittaker believes that if there's anyone who can withstand Chimaev's aggressive start, it's du Plessis. His endurance and fighting spirit could help him turn the tide later in the fight, giving him a real chance to come out on top.
Khamzat and DDP, the next fight. Who do you think's going to walk away as the champion?
I can't see anyone really stopping Chimaev's takedowns. Like, his takedowns are so hard to stop. It's super high level. Can DDP drag it into those later rounds? Can it get through the first grappling exchanges and then start to capitalize on his just like persistence, like doggedness to go away? Honestly, if Chimaev can't get DDP out of there, DDP wins. DDP wins almost every fight. You can't get rid of him, right? Because he's like mold, dude.
Meanwhile, Chael Sonnen gave his take on the upcoming fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis, stressing that this is far from an easy matchup. He made it clear that taking du Plessis down and controlling him on the ground is no small task, as no one has successfully been able to do that so far. Sonnen also talked about how the middleweight division is currently thriving, mentioning names like Kyle Barboza, Bo Nickal, and Denis Tilyulin as rising threats, while Sean Strickland continues to stay in the mix. He said the spotlight on the 185-pound division has never been brighter, making this a very exciting time for middleweight MMA.
I mean, this isn't a simple fight where you go, well, go out and take him down. It's like, yeah, good luck. Go out and take him down. Yeah, it's true. And then you got to hold him there once you do it. Oh, and by the way, nobody else has taken down and held Dricus there. Like, this fight is starting to look different. The entire division is starting to look different. There's never been a time that 185 pounds has had such a spotlight on it. I'm watching this guy, Kyle Barrow, myself. I'm thinking this guy might quietly be the real assassin of that division, but that's not easy to say. I think Bo Nickal go all the way to the top. And I think that de Ridder is greatly underrated. And I don't think Sean Strickland is ready to move on just yet. Like, 185 is a really exciting proposition.
Additionally, Chael Sonnen admitted that it's not surprising Khamzat Chimaev is the favorite going into the fight, and said he would probably lean toward picking him to win. However, he also pointed out that his confidence in that pick drops when asked exactly how Chimaev will get the job done. He explained that he's not fully convinced Chimaev can easily take du Plessis down or keep him there. For Chael, the first round will be key. If Chimaev gets an early takedown, things could quickly go downhill for du Plessis. But if du Plessis manages to defend well in the opening minutes, Chael believes the fight will start to favor him more as time goes on.
Is it a surprise that Chimaev is a favorite? No, I would expect him to be. But I also feel as though if I were predicting this today, I would lean Chimaev. As long as you didn't ask me a follow-up question. Like if I told you, hey, I think Chimaev's going to beat Dricus. Okay, great. If we all get up and walk out of the room, we're fine. The problem is if you're going to ask me how. How is he going to beat him? Because I am not fully confident that Chimaev can take him down at will. I'm not fully confident he can keep him there. We're going to know in the very first round. If Dricus gets taken down in the first round, things are going to unravel very quickly. But if he can defend a takedown for the entire first 5 minutes, it's only going to get easier to stay on your feet after that. It's an exciting match. I would expect Chimaev to be the favorite. And he is.
However, Ariel Helwani shared his perspective on the matchup, saying he believes Dricus du Plessis will be able to adjust and figure things out as the fight progresses. He mentioned that du Plessis might take the fight into the later rounds, using that time to study Chimaev's style and adapt to it. Ariel suggested that even if the early moments are tough, the fight could turn into a valuable learning experience for du Plessis. As the rounds go on, he expects Dricus to find a way to deal with the pressure and possibly take control.
I think he takes him to deep water and he figures it out, and I think it's like a learning lesson for him and all this stuff.
On the other hand, Coach Eric Nixon shared his thoughts on Dricus du Plessis, saying he has studied him closely and sees him as a respectful, well-prepared athlete. He pointed out how much du Plessis has grown as a fighter since his bout with Brad, eventually rising to the level of world champion. Nixon noted that while du Plessis might appear wild or unpredictable in the cage, his movements are actually deliberate and the result of consistent training. According to Nixon, du Plessis has a unique style that disrupts his opponent's rhythm, making it hard to time him. He believes the most effective strategy against Dricus is to take him down early and control him on the ground.
I'm so curious to how Khamzat and DDP plays out. I feel like DDP's going to be able to weather the storm the first 2 rounds and then start taking off the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th. What do you think?
I do too. I've studied DDP a bunch. Super respectful, nice guy. He's very well coached. Just his overall development, he's jumped leaps and bounds in between that Brad fight to now being world champion. People think it looks erratic, but it's not. It's very calculated what he's trying to do. It's a lot of those same reps that he does, but there's a motion to him that's kind of hard to gather rhythm. How do you eliminate all that? Take a guy down, put him on his back.
Moreover, MMA Guru shared mixed feelings about the upcoming fight between Dricus du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev. He said that he used to feel confident that du Plessis would win and still leans slightly in his favor, mainly because he thinks DDP might be too physically strong to be dominated. However, he also admitted that Chimaev is on a different level, especially in the opening round where he's at his most dangerous. While Guru is hoping for a du Plessis victory, he also understands the serious threat Chimaev brings. In his view, if Chimaev does win, it will most likely happen in the early stages of the fight.
DDP? I don't know anymore, man. These guys are... I used to think, you know what, DDP's got him. And I still think that, dude, he might just be too strong to be muscled around like this.
Yeah.
But Chimaev is truly on a different level.
I think DDP beats him.
I think he could, and I am leaning that way.
Yeah.
But now I'm real.
Yeah.
You know, I also want DDP to win, but I'm leaning towards DDP.
Yeah.
Because I think the idea of Chimaev is a round 1 guy.
Yeah.
You know? If he takes out DDP in round 1.
Additionally, Guru suggested that Dricus du Plessis shouldn't just focus on defending takedowns when facing Khamzat Chimaev. Instead, he thinks du Plessis should start the fight aggressively and even consider going for a takedown himself to surprise Chimaev. According to Guru, Chimaev usually expects to control the fight early, so if DDP comes out with pressure right away, it might break his rhythm and cause hesitation. He noted that past opponents like Robert Whittaker, Kamaru Usman, and Gilbert Burns never really tested Chimaev's confidence in the opening minutes. If du Plessis can shake that early confidence, it might throw off Chimaev's usual killer instinct.
So this is why I don't think DDP should go out there like, got stuff to take down. Dude, get on his hips before you.
Yep.
You know? And if he stuffs it, so be it. It'll be the least thing he expects. And for a second, Chimaev, who's a killer.
Yeah.
He's a murderer.
Yep.
He goes out there, I'm going to drag this guy in the first round, destroy him. For a second, he goes, what the?
Yeah.
If you can snap that on Chimaev for a second, Whittaker, he never had a moment in that fight where he thought, what's going on?
It was like, he got me back.
He was complete composure. Same with Usman. Burns had him re-second guess himself.
Yep.
But all the good first rounds he's had, there's never been a snap in his mental game. That always happens in the later rounds. But if DDP shoots on him, there's a moment in Chimaev's head where he goes, what the f*** are you doing?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's not this killer in a fight.
Yeah.
At last, Guru also explained that even if Chimaev manages to defend or counter a takedown attempt, Dricus du Plessis can still gain an edge by changing the pace of the fight and shifting momentum in his favor. He said that in such situations, du Plessis could look to grab a leg, work to regain guard, or land elbows from the bottom position. Guru pointed out that it's much easier for a fighter to survive while in guard than being stuck under side control, especially against someone like Chimaev, who is very dangerous when holding dominant positions. With the new rules allowing knees on the ground, Guru warned that du Plessis must avoid letting Chimaev settle into those strong positions. Instead, du Plessis needs to stay active, make smart choices, and keep himself out of situations where Chimaev's strengths can take over.
He's asking a question. He's on my hips.
Yeah.
If he sprawls it, if he gets the whizzer and throws DDP over, and why did DDP do that? Now DDP can go, well, I'm going for a leg.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a leg. See how he deals with this?
Yep.
I'm going to get guard back.
Yep.
I'm going to see if I can elbow him off bottom position. It's much easier to survive in guard than it is for someone to have
side control
with their body lock, and they can punch you, especially now with knees and you can't play the hand game. Don't get caught up.
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in those positions and choose him.
On the other hand, Jamahal Hill shared that he tends to favor Dricus du Plessis in the upcoming fight because du Plessis has repeatedly proven Hill wrong whenever he doubted him. Hill believes du Plessis has better cardio and physical strength, making him a tough challenge for anyone in the division. He also noted that Khamzat Chimaev has shown signs of slowing down in past fights as the rounds go on. Hill pointed out du Plessis' unusual striking style, which is hard to predict and could help him land important shots. Still, he warned not to underestimate Chimaev, praising his natural grappling skills that can catch opponents off guard.
I probably favor DDP in that one, just for the simple fact of I've doubted this dude so many times now, and he's shut me up bad every time. It may look like he's like fatiguing or he's like slowing down, but he's really not. I think he's got the better cardio. His physical strength, I believe, can pose a problem for anybody in that division. We've seen Khamzat fade over the course of rounds before. I just believe Dricus has a really, really awkward way of throwing strikes that's not easy to time, get a read on, so I believe he will land. So I probably lean more towards DDP, but you can't count a guy like Khamzat out. I believe he's one of the best natural pure grapplers. He does have the ability to throw some hands too, so it's interesting.
So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts on this in the comments section, and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.